Yeah.
Right, fine. Hello and welcome to the We Are the Girls in Claret and Blue FAWSL podcast. It's great to be back. And today we are joined by a Man United fan, surprisingly enough, Rodney. Welcome to the show, Rodney. And it's a pleasure to have you back on for another season of the FAWSL.
Well, thanks for inviting me back on. I feel very honoured to be the first guest of the new season. So, you know, I've definitely gone up in terms of the rankings. I need everyone to pay attention. Now, you know, I am the number one guest on the show.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but Rodney, what have you thought during this pandemic? You know, we're finally getting to the stage where women's football is a week away from coming back. How did you find the way the FA dealt with it with the points per game system?
That seems such a long time ago, really. I mean, no, it's not, but it does feel like a lifetime ago. I felt at the time, you know, it wasn't necessarily the best way, but no way was going to be the right way. You know, it would have been very, very difficult, I suppose, in terms of the way they kind of distributed the points and awarded trophies to particular teams and, you know, points to particular teams. But I suppose they had to make a decision, and it wasn't necessarily ideal for everyone, but it was the situation that we all found ourselves in. I actually think now it's because it's gone and it's done and dusted. I believe the only team that could probably put up a complaint about anything or a group of fans might be Liverpool. You know, because with the number of games that were still available, you know, I think there were a point adrift of, you know, the other two clubs that were above them, and you just never know. We've seen, you know, one particular club that was at the bottom of the league for a while, and it, you know, it takes a win and a draw, and they're off the bottom, and then it changes. So, you know, if you were to go back at that point, I would say that Liverpool fans might feel aggrieved. The Liverpool club might feel aggrieved that, you know, they didn't get the chance to kind of fight out for the rest of the season. But for the other teams and the fans, I suppose they were willing the league to kind of make a decision and just move on.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, though, Rodney, as well, because at the time I remember I did a show with, I think it was yourself and Rich, and we was all saying they either null and void the season or points per game it, because we all couldn't see a way that it could be safe to be played. However, now looking back, if the investment was there, which clearly it wasn't, I'm quite disappointed we didn't get to see it out like the Premier League have done, where maybe we could have finished it out 6 weeks before where we are now, and then gone straight into this season. However, at the time, I think it was the best decision, but I think I'm still not. I don't agree with relegating Liverpool, because I thought it was quite a close battle. And I just don't think points per game and relegating a team through that is the right decision. Plus, I think that, as I said on our last show, I thought there was room for a 14-team league. I thought that would have been better. However, one thing on a positive, I think that's not come out of this, but it's seeming to happen this season, is BT Sport have really got behind women's football on TV, and the TV rights have seemed to strengthen.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that has been the case since the return, and especially in terms of the European football. BT Sports are probably looking ahead and thinking, what can they do to support, you know, this group of footballers who basically want to be treated with some equality, and in terms of that, they need to have access to the same kind of platform, but also be visible. So there is that, you know, but there's still a little. For me, there's always going to be an era where I think there's still not enough.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that from my male privilege of being able to watch football and listen to football for so many years without even giving it a second thought. You know, don't even think about it. But if you're a follower of women's football or a supporter of women's football, even if you don't support a particular team, but you want to watch football, you have to kind of, like, you know, lucky dip put your hand in the basket and see what comes out in terms of platforms which may show a game. So as much as I will, applaud BT Sports, there's still a long way to go in terms of, the visibility, that we have. And I love football, so I want to be able to sit back on my sofa and just click and go, yeah, I'm watching this game and I'm going to watch that game and then I'm going to watch that. Yeah, I want to make it a Super Sunday. I don't have to necessarily watch men's football. I might say women's football's on, and I'm going to do that. I'll flip between the two. I'll go, yeah, I'll watch a bit of that. I want a bit of that. I'll choose. It shouldn't be an either or.
What I want to get to the stage with Rodney on this topic is the fact that maybe BT Sport will have the Women's Super League, the full coverage which they have now, and Sky Sports have got the Premier League. I want to get to the stage where we're not guessing if this game's going to be on BT Sport. We know that because they've got a strong TV rights hold. And I think the stronger this TV package gets, the more the FA will be forced to put more teams in the WSL, and the better package we will end up having. I think this year's going to be massive for the women's game because BT Sport have gave them an opportunity of more games and a more audience to impress and also expand to. And I think the next stage BT Sport need to go to, and if they do, it'll be massive for the women's game, is get the full rights to the UEFA Women's Champions League. And I think that's coming because, especially with what they've done over this tournament.
Yeah. I you know what? I looked at the tournament. It's really funny. I believe the tournament, in terms of the restart, has been good the way it's been handled. And it does need to be visible. But even to some of the games, I think there were one of the semi-finals they were both on at the same time. There were people I've seen online that were in different countries unable to see it. Was the game available on YouTube? Do you know, it was a mixed set. So, for those in the UK that want to watch the Champions League, great. But there still needs to be an alternative platform that if it's not on BT Sport and you're, in Canada or you're in the US and you've got players that are, over there and you've got connections with friends and you think, hey, we want to watch this game with you and be a part of the experience, there still needs to be an alternative platform. And for me, if it's not free to air for those people in terms of YouTube, then I don't know what the answer is. So, again, I say I applaud BT Sport, but, women's football, it doesn't want to go down the road of, once we've got the Champions League rights, it's great for BT Sport viewers, but no one else.
I quite agree, Rodney, and I think what's happening now, I think there's a power shift in the women's game right now because the teams are doing all they can financially to back their women's team in most clubs. I think we've seen over the summer. There's big players from America now coming over to England, which also means there's pressure on UEFA to provide a platform for fans in America and Canada to watch UEFA Champions League games, because I'll tell you now, there's going to be a load of Americans that will want to see what Rose Lavelle does in England and with the FAWSL, which they can do through the FA player. So the FA have got themselves backed. Now the pressure goes straight onto UEFA. They need to provide a platform that American fans can watch the Champions League games because the pressure is going to be on them.
It will be, as you said, Rose Lavelle. Oh, Rose Lavelle. That one was just for Emma. I realised that there's me and you, the two men talking about women's football. Everyone's thinking, what the hell are they doing? But we are talking about women's football. No, they do need to actually have a platform where it gives access or provides access to American viewers and American supporters of football. This is something that has been down the line for a long time. Whether they wanted to kind of look up and see it coming, that's down to those in terms of the platform providers, the TV providers. But everyone knows that sport is big business. Everyone knows that sport is very important in terms of the lives of individuals around the world. It is very key, very, in the moment right now. What UEFA do next will be fundamental to what we almost take for granted here within the UK and European football as viewers. But there are so many games and competitions within the UK and Europe that we don't get to see. So as much as we watch the European Champions League, how much of us know about, the French league? How much of us know about the German league in terms of women's football or the Spanish league? We get snippets, but there isn't the comprehensive package that the men's team have. Do you understand? So as much as I say it again, I might applaud BT Sport. There is a long, long way to go. Very long way to go.
Okay, then we've spoken enough about BT.
We've done enough.
They've had their advertisement for this week.
Had enough. I'm checking my emails. There's nothing coming through.
Don't worry, I'll send the wages through later, Rodney. Let's start with one of the games they're actually covering this weekend. Manchester United, your team, host Chelsea. What do you think of that game? And I'm sure you haven't got any encouragement that you're going to win after that.
Hold on. Why are you saying I don't have any encouragement? That's a very loaded question. I am encouraged.
What, you think Man United women are going to beat Chelsea after the performance they've just put out at Wembley?
One first thing, I have to go through it in terms of, I cannot just say yes. I've got to give my answer as to why I believe it's the case. I think they have a chance. Casey is a very shrewd manager. She knows how to set the team up. She has shown already that she has an understanding of the league, an understanding of the players, and she will put up a formation and the team will be drilled in terms of what they need to do on the day, depending who they're facing. With regards to games against what you've got to say is the top three, what Chelsea they have an abundance of individuals who are individually talented that can create things at any given moment. I think United have got to players like that, but Chelsea just have a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of that fixture, I wouldn't necessarily write Manchester United off and say, Chelsea won, a competition at the beginning and they're going to go. And I'll be like, no, okay, that's fine. They've got to turn up and play the team that's in front of them. And as much as they're going to have as much talent on the field or on the bench as they have, it's still about what they do within the perimeter of the pitch and whether or not they can get past the defence, get past the midfield and create the chances. So I see it right now as an even game, as much as many people may say, the odds go in Chelsea's favour. I don't necessarily say it's going to be like some people say it's like 60-40 in favour to Chelsea. I wouldn't say that. I'm going to be honest and say I think that United have a very good chance of taking points from Chelsea, which Chelsea can't afford because they're going to go into this game thinking they can get all three. And United will go in and basically say, apart from us taking 3 points from you, we'll stop you from getting the points you think you want to get. So it's going to be a much tougher game. And this is why the broadcasters have chosen this fixture, because they know it's not just going to be a walkover. It's going to be a really good game of football.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing that Man United can take encouragement out of it, sort of upsetting Chelsea's party. Okay, they're the defending league champions. They haven't celebrated that yet properly.
No.
2, they've just won the Community Shield, which is against Man City, which they expect to be their league rival. So that's a massive booster going into the season.
Yeah.
And I think Man United are going to take a motivation out of that to say, hold on, let's go and upset their bandwagon. Let's show the league and the whole of the WSL's audience what we're going to be about this season. And I think going into football matches, people underestimate the psychological boost teams can get from wanting to upset their rivals' parties. Because I think Man United women and Chelsea women are rivals now because of the audiences of their club, and Man United want to get to where Chelsea are, but on the other hand, Chelsea wants to stop them getting there. So I think Man United have got a psychological boost going into this game of upsetting their party. However, I think Chelsea, like you said, Rodney, that you could be it could be 0-0. Emma Hayes looks at a bench, goes, for example, I doubt she'll start, but if they sign Perlin Harder,
And harder, yeah.
yeah, oh look, I've got Harder. Let's bring her on. Yeah, it's just it's not over until the final whistle with Chelsea. So that's why I doubt Man United are going to get a result.
Yeah, do you know what? If they do sign harder, I hope she's not fit for that game. Not in a bad way. Just I'm not being malicious. I just hope you're not. Just hope you're not. Penelope, if you're listening, I hope you're not fit. Yeah, I hope you're wallowing in your little self pity and thinking, oh, I'm not ready, and you're on the bench. You're not even named as sub. You're just watching.
Yeah, don't get too violent, Rodney.
Oh gosh, the list of names we can. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea have done really well in terms of their player acquisition. They've done really, really well. So, yeah, as much as they've done really well, United have maintained the core of the squad, which did really well last year, and a few additions. But another season in the WSL. Mentally stronger, physically fitter, 5% sharper. I think they will be ready. They will know what they need to do, and they will have reflected on the games where they missed out on points that they believe they should have got. So yeah, I'm quietly confident in terms of that individual fixture. If you ask me something about the overall season, I'm going to have to wait until I've watched 3 games before I make a decision on that. But I wouldn't want to jump in and go, they're going to win the league or anything like that. I'd be far too silly, far too silly to kind of make those kind of suggestions.
I
Not
think
quite yet.
I think one thing that's changed this season for me as a supporter, Rodney, is normally in this situation, I'd say I don't think Chelsea are going to win the league because they're going to concentrate on the Champions League. However, this season, looking at Chelsea's squad and the acquisitions they've made to booster it, I can't see past Chelsea defending their title because this season they've got 22 players,
Mm.
2 sets of 11 that are as strong as each other, which I think is going to be massive for them this season.
Yeah, they've got a strong core of players who can add to the game at any point in time. And I mean, when you look at the Community Shield and you've got Beth England on the bench and Erin Cuthbert I mean, like, seriously, you've got those 2 on the bench and you can bring them on because you've got Sam Kerr up front and you've got, and you just think, okay. And then you've got the rumor of Harder possibly joining. You just think, oh, it's scary to think about the potential that they have in terms of the players that they have. And, I kind of not necessarily disagree with you about the Champions League. I think Emma Hayes is someone who wants to win everything. She's not just about one competition. She wants to win. You don't assemble a squad like that just to focus on one trophy. You want everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't put it past Chelsea just, rotating their squad in a very, very cute way and smart way that they can deal with the league and the Champions League. The Champions League are, they know what they need to do. They've watched the final. It's not about just one individual player. It's about teamwork collectively and making sure that you've got people that can come in any position and do the job. We saw it with Lyon, where they had their main striker missing, who's suspended, and they came, and, they've got someone else who come off the bench and just do the business. And Chelsea are going to be, for me, no different going forward next season. I'm not bigging up Chelsea before Chelsea fans start getting a bit hectic, going, oh, he said we're going to do this, calm down.
Talking of the Community Shield, let's go on to that. What did you make of Chelsea's performance at Wembley?
I mean, to be honest, in terms of the chances they created, you would have said that they, they would have been out of sight by half time, like 3 or 4 goals, really. They played really good football. Man City did as well. But yeah, they look. I mean, it's very it's too soon to say they're going to win the league, but they looked good. They moved the ball around well. They knew what they were doing. They had a very good game plan going forward, as they always have when they play football, you know. But I think in terms of the competition, from Manchester City's point of view, you know, they've got good acquisition in terms of, I cannot forget her name straight away. It's just escaped me. That's really bad. That's terrible. What's her name? Chloe Kelly.
How can you forget Chloe
I
Kelly?
know, I know. I could see her face, and I was thinking your name. You know, good from her. Sam Mew is obviously coming over. Rose Lavelle.
I still can't believe they've signed her.
Listen, yeah, you know, it's still to turn up, and the possibility of two other players potentially joining them before the season begins. So, you know, for both teams, I thought it was a good outing. It's what you want to get minutes on the pitch. Chelsea will be happy with the result, but in terms of opportunities created, you know, Chelsea would have expected to win that game just on the opportunities created alone. You know, so yeah, not really a surprise.
If Man City, though, Rodney, do sign Lucy Bronze and Alex Greenwood, the battle that is going to happen between Chelsea and Man City, I mean, it just excites me thinking about it. I think this season is going to be the best season ever of the FAWSL.
Yeah, do you know what? So actually, I'm due to speak to Emma soon, and I know Emma has been very happy with regards to the acquisitions, and
so she should be as well.
I mean, yeah, of course. You know, when your team does business like that, you have to be happy, and obviously the rumor is still out there.
If I was Emma and my team just signed Rose Lavelle, I'd still be partying tonight, Rodney.
I think Emma is. I think she stopped partying. You know, she was doing cartwheels for a while, but I think she's slowed down now because she's looking forward for a few more players to enter the fray. But no, if they do sign those two players that have been linked or rumored to them, then it just kind of, what it does for me is it puts them on at least two more levels up than they were already on, and it makes it much more difficult for everyone else. But it still will make for an interesting league, because football is all about what's happening on the pitch, not just about what we say, you know, on the sidelines. It's still down to the players, and you know, you need a bit of luck and skill. Well, definitely some luck, and sometimes when you look at the Community Shield, you've got a very talented player in Sam Kerr, no luck at all. So she'll be looking back at that game and thinking, how did I not score in that game at least 2 goals? I mean, I think there's one chance that she's kind of, the ball was pushed across and she slid in and she just missed. I don't know what was going on, and you kind of think, how did she miss that? One of those days. So yeah. I'm not worried.
Let's talk about one team in the top 3. I feel like has just gone slightly into the background. However, you do still have to remember them because they've got, in my opinion, the best striker in the league in Miedema. It's Arsenal. They start off against Reading, and I think they're going to cause a surprise. I think they may split up Chelsea and Man City in terms of second place, and Chelsea may be first or third, and Man City will be first or third just because of the Champions League.
Yeah, that game is a really difficult game for Arsenal. Reading have got quite a few new players that have joined them, and they will have the new bounce in terms of them moving to playing at the Reading Stadium as well. So massive move, you know. So there's that kind of, you're under the one umbrella of a club. You have more of a kind of connected feel to the rest of the club itself. And Arsenal will you know, we look at, I'll tell you what will happen with Arsenal. They will be kind of still dealing with the trauma, not necessarily in a bad way, of the Champions League exit. The way the league finished as well. And just dealing with like players coming and going, and you know, there's not much news been said with regards to Arsenal in terms of, you know, player acquisition, and they've had players come in, but you know, not to the same fanfare of Chelsea, not to the same fanfare of Manchester City, you know, where people have gone, "Ooh, have you seen this?" And you know, I don't know if that will kind of upset them on their fan base or if that's a concern, but you know, I wouldn't necessarily write them off because you know they've got great players there in that squad, and they will be looking across the road thinking we're not having any of this from anyone. So I wouldn't necessarily write them off. They will be definitely there and thereabouts.
But see, the thing there, Rodney, that comes with that is just what we have agreed on with Manchester United's game against Chelsea. Arsenal have got that for the whole of this season of
Yeah,
we can't let the rest of the league forget about us. We've got a point to prove this season. We had a disappointing season last year. We had a disappointing end to our Champions League campaign. Let's go out and prove to our fans that we are still the best side in England.
yeah. I mean, they will want to do that, but you know, it's so many of the teams have strengthened in areas that need where they needed to. And we witnessed so many games which were kind of score draws when they shouldn't have been score draws.
Mm.
Arsenal will be a team that wants to rectify some of the games where they didn't get a win, and go about their business in a way that they're not forgotten, but you know, everyone's talking about Manchester City and Chelsea in like, oh, it's them two, and Arsenal will probably think, well, you know, it's not just you two, you know, we're here as well, and that will be enough. That will be enough, kind of a kind of a carrot for them to look at and say, we need to make sure that everyone realizes that, you know, we are still here and we haven't gone anywhere. Not that you can forget Arsenal, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think with Arsenal, it's sort of the thing of everybody's going to be concentrating. The media attention will automatically go to Chelsea and Man City. However, if Arsenal, you know, might turn up to the Etihad and go, well, there you go, we've won
Yeah.
2-1. Now what are you talking about? It's just going to take one result for Arsenal, and that will give them massive confidence
Yeah.
for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I know you did that just for Emma to turn up, really. Just for Emma. She'll appreciate that one.
Yeah, I'll hide from Emma for 2 weeks now.
Oh gosh, I'm speaking to her this week, so I'll let her know.
Yeah, don't. Well, let's go on to my team now. We start the season off away to Tottenham now. I'm very happy with our transfer business, as you may have seen through
Well,
my
you
social
seem a
media.
little bit jolly. You seem jolly.
But let's go to the neutral point of view with you, Rodney. What do you make of that game?
I think it's going to be a tough game, really, for both teams. You know, they've got, you know, a number of new players. I think you guys have got, how many players? You've got like, literally like 6 or 7 players that have come in, a couple on loan.
I've lost count, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Whether or not you know, they all play a part within the game, it's, you know, too soon to say. But you know, both teams have made, you know, really good signings from their point of view, and they've strengthened and they've moved players on. That game is the kind of game that neither team wants to lose. You know, it's the kind of game you would have said, oh, can we have that in like 4 weeks' time? It's just too soon. It's just too soon for West Ham, and it's just too soon for Spurs. They would probably say we don't need a London derby right now. Give us at least 4 weeks for us to kind of get some momentum. But to kick off straight away with a derby, a London derby, what it does, I suppose, is it makes it twice as important in terms of the start for the season. No one will want to lose. Whether that will dictate the game to be slightly cagey, whether it will kind of increase the nerves from either team, you just never know. But neither team will want to leave that game on the wrong end of a result.
I think we're under more pressure coming into this game, Rodney, because the fact of Tottenham have sort of retained what they had from last season. However, with us, we've made, for me, really impressive investment, and now us fans are expecting us to go there and get a result. Well, I am anyway. And I think that the difference we've made in our acquisitions was last year we had a really strong starting 11, but a few injuries and we were back to square one. This year we have got a really, really strong squad, and I think we could upset the top four. However, I would expect us to finish fifth.
Yeah, I love that optimism. We're going to upset the top four. So I want to ask you, who do you think is going to be in the top four?
Well, the obvious ones are Chelsea, Man City, and Arsenal.
Yeah. Fourth. He's going to be fourth then. He's going to make that fourth spot.
I don't want to say Man United, but I have to. I think it'll be Man United, but I think us and Everton will be close.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Rodney? What's your top four?
It's gonna, for me, the top three definitely are as they are. The top four will be much more difficult, I think. Man United will try to get back to that same point. May not make it because other teams have strengthened as well. And other teams like you mentioned, Everton, Spurs have strengthened. There'll be a season again, a season stronger, more established. West Ham will be there. Birmingham, now they've got a new manager, Carla Ward. Bit of stability for them because Birmingham produced quite a good number of players, so they'll want to be there and they're about Reading. I mean, it's really difficult to say who will make that top 4 or 5, but it all depends on the start, really. It all depends on the start.
I think the only club that are going to find themselves really struggling is Bristol City. I think they're the only team that haven't strengthened.
I don't know. I can check quickly. Well, they've got a few. Well, no, actually they have. How can I forget? Amy Palmer. She was released from Manchester United. She spent the bulk of last year on loan at Sheffield United. She was recalled in January, February. Didn't get much game time and the season was over. Bristol have also bagged Megan Wynn from Spurs. And a player from Liverpool and a player on loan or maybe released from Manchester City. I think is Emma Bissell.
Yeah.
But Bristol have added to their squad. I mean, they've lost more than they've added, but at the same time, have they added the quality that they need to get goals? Amy Palmer's a really good player. I think she's shown that she can hold her own in midfield and that she'll add a little bit of steel to it, and she's very forward thinking and likes to go for goal. And I think yes, she'll do well for them. But Bristol, if you're worrying about where they'll be in terms of league position, you'd be hard pressed to say they won't be far off from where they were when they ended. But again, that may be too cruel to say right now until you see where teams are after 3 games. And then you can kind of get a picture as to what might happen going forward.
I think one team and one club that have showed a massive potential last season and they've backed it this year, and they've also put the money where their mouth is with the acquisition of a French striker is Everton. I think they're really going to do well this year.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say that the Everton are actually going to be the team that people are going to
want to beat.
Yeah, well, not even so much want to beat. They'll probably go there with the mindset of last season that they might, we'll get a result from them, and they'll be surprised.
This will be a tricky place to go.
Yeah,
this year.
they'll be surprised. They'll be like, oh, we didn't expect that today, and yeah, definitely.
I think the only disappointment in that Everton camp would be, what if we kept Chloe Kelly? I think that would be the only disappointment that they didn't get to keep her.
To be honest, you got to look at where she went, and I don't believe it's a slur on Everton. I believe that Manchester City are a forward-thinking team.
Oh well, I'm still recovering that she didn't sign for West Ham.
Yeah, no, but what I find amazing about Chloe Kelly is that You know, when she scored some of her goals for Everton, everyone's like, there was like writing her off, saying she wasn't that good. And you could see she's got talent. You
Hmm.
could see, and what has happened now towards the end of the season, obviously before the lockdown, she gets a call up for England,
Yeah.
and she looks like she belongs. She
Hmm.
looks like she's like always worn that shirt when she came on, and I just thought to myself, you know what? Some people get phased at that level, and she wasn't phased. Um, and Manchester City probably thought, you know what? We're investing in the future now in terms of an England number one, in terms of as a main striker. And if I were to say to you, how many strikers of her age can you say definitely can be called up for in terms of like the Lionesses? I doubt anyone could actually say three names.
No.
Yeah, so I think from a Manchester City point of view, they've done exceptionally well to get what they may regard as the next England number nine and develop her in a way that they want to develop her.
I think it's going to benefit England massively as well because
Mm,
you've got Chloe Kelly that's now going to be learning from Ellen White, and I think that's going to be a
yeah.
great partnership this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of time for Ellen White. I think she just gives everything when she's on the pitch.
I
She
mean, I
scores
am. She's a
goals.
West Ham fan, so.
Yeah, she got a West Ham tattoo. Is that what she said?
um, yeah, I think she may end her career at West Ham. Funnily enough.
Oh, big! That's a big shout. That's a big shout.
um, okay, let's talk about your expectations for Manchester United this season, Rodney. How do you think you'll fare?
If they honestly, I say if they make top four again, if they make fourth spot, it'd be a good season. And I say if there's no guarantee. There
Well,
will
you
be. Well, I'll tell you why I say if. At this moment in time, I'm looking at the squad as it is. I don't see much change in the squad in terms of output.
do you think it's strong enough?
Um, to what? To do what? No, that's the thing. Is it strong enough to do what? To
Well,
get to
finish
top?
in the top four.
Um, yeah, I think it is, but it won't be easy, and that'll be because other teams have strengthened. It'd be very, you know, silly of me to go, yeah, they definitely get top four and totally neglect the other teams who have strengthened in areas where they needed to strengthen. You know, Manchester United have not only themselves to deal with in terms of what they achieved last season, they've got to contend with the other teams that they're going to face and how they have improved. So, can they do it? Yes. Will they do it? Too soon to say. They'll, they'll be up against other teams. They're not at this moment in terms of what I see a top three team. You need
Mm.
goals. You need goals. You need strikers who are going to score league goals that are going to cause a problem in the league. Not cup competitions.
Mm.
No, it's no good accumulating what happens in the Conti Cup and saying this is going to be in the league. I need league goals. And if you don't have league goals in your bag, then you're not going to move up the league. But what I'd like to see is
Wouldn't you
Manchester
argue?
United.
Wouldn't you argue though, Rodney, if you don't score league goals, you're not good enough to play for Manchester United?
No, not necessarily. Some players can play in a club, in a team, and they have a very different, a very particular function, or their role is very particular in terms of the overall performance of the team. I'm not expecting Hayley Ladd to score 15 goals. I know
Mm.
what Hayley Ladd does. I know what if Hayley Ladd scored 15 goals, then it's game over because then you're just thinking she can do everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, you look at her and you think if you're doing what you're doing in front of the back four and you're scoring 15 league goals, yeah, then I'm talking top three. I'm not even talking top four.
mm.
But you need to score league goals. The rumor of the potential signings of
Christian Press and
Christian Press and Tobin Heath. For me, I saw those names and I thought, I like watching the American national women's team. I like the way they play. I look at these two players and I think they give everything when they come on the pitch. Do I see them in Manchester United red? As a dream, yes. Will it happen? Don't know. Yeah, will it happen? I don't know. If it does happen, do they add Do they add the league goals to a Manchester United team that needs league goals? Again, I don't know. And that's not being me being horrible. I just look at it and I think, well, Man United need what they need right now for me to get into top three. They need an out and out goal scorer. Someone who's going to get you 50. Someone who's going to do a Vivian Miedemar. Someone who's going to be a Beth England. Someone who's going to be an Ellen White. Those are goal scorers. They're not. As soon as you say their name, they're a number 9. That's it. I can't say the same for Manchester United. I know there are players in the team who can score goals, and they score great goals, and they've got great ability and technical ability. But as an outright number 9 in the top league, I've got to shrug. I have to shrug my shoulders and say I'm not sure. So, I'm trying to be very
analytical.
Well, I'm not even so much analytical. I'm just trying to make sure I don't jump the gun and say they're definitely going to get top 4, they're definitely going to get top 3, and they fall short. I want to say, if they match where they were at the minimum for last season, if they match that, that's great. But then if they match it and they believe they've got a little bit more to give, then, you want to see it.
Would you say then, Rodney,
Yeah.
Man United, the way they'd make a statement to get in the top 3 would be maybe go in and buy one of Manchester City's, Chelsea's, or Arsenal striker?
The likelihood of that happening is far. It's about whether you can either create a striker in your midst or use one you have so that they get the goals in the league that you need, or you go beyond those clubs that you've mentioned and see if you can scout a goal scorer. Scoring goals is difficult in any league at any level. Scoring goals is hard. Can you find a goal scorer? I believe Manchester City found a goal scorer when they got Chloe Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
What they've used her as in the Community Shield. They used her as a winger. We know she's not a winger.
Mm-hmm.
We know she's not a winger. We know that she's a centre forward, but that's where they're putting her for now. She will get her time. I don't know whether or not Man United have found someone who can be their out and out number 9 that will get them 12 to 15 league goals.
Do you think that's Man United's biggest weakness?
What, the league goals?
Yeah.
From last season, yes, but I'd say that would be for me. I'd say that was probably their only weakness. In terms of their attacking play and their defensive capabilities, I would say that they're able to stand up to anything. They're good going forward. They're good on the counter attack. You've got Leah Galton on one side. You've got, Jessica was used on the right from time to time. Jackie Groner's in there being busy. Hayley Ladd, for me, she's like the governor in a sense. She's like the boss who doesn't say much. She does it. She stops and she moves it on. Keeps it simple. Lauren is, sublime on a day. She can do anything with the ball. She scores at either foot. She's just got a great eye for goal. Ella Toon, good eye for goal. And I look at the back 4 and I look at them and I think you can't really complain. I think to myself, they had one season where they all came together. Some played out of position. Martha Harris played at right back, then she was shifted to left back, didn't look out of place. I'm just looking at it, I think to myself, you can't really complain about that. As a United fan, you can't really complain about that team. The only thing that was lacking was league goals, and it's league goals that you score which make the difference. Every team concedes. Doesn't matter how good you are. Every team concedes. Look at Lyon. They conceded. You still got to score more than the other team.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll end the show by both giving our predictions. We'll predict the league champions and the team to get relegated. I'll start. I think the season will end with Chelsea lifting the trophy again, and I think Bristol City will be relegated this season. Over to you, Rodney.
Wow, you didn't even give me a chance. Oh gosh.
You'll have to do the same to me when I'm on and off the pitch.
Yeah, you definitely have. I'm telling you, we're going to do one on the WSL takeout. You're coming on. You're getting the same. Oh gosh, who's going to go down? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I can say a team. It'd be too soon. It's too
Oh,
soon to
stop
say it.
sitting on the fence, Rodney.
No, I have to sit on the fence. I'm being honest. I have to sit on the fence for this one. It's too soon for me to say who will go down. In terms of who can win the league or who could possibly win, I'm going to go with Chelsea at the moment. Um, and that's just because of what we have all witnessed in the Community Shield. They currently have a really good attacking front six, seven, eight who can score goals. And yeah, so I'm going with at the moment Chelsea. But as for who gets relegated, I'm sitting on the fence with that one. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. I can't. It's too soon. It's too soon. Too
You're gonna
soon.
get, you'll get splinters, Rodney, if you
Yeah,
carry on.
I have a bag of plasters. I'm fine.
Okay, that's it for our first episode of the FA Women's Super League show. Thanks, Rodney, for coming on, and we will see you guys next week when hopefully we're celebrating 3 points against Spurs.
See ya. Cheers. Thanks a lot.